the rest of it. So
your wish, my command, is my command.
Stop making this an ego competition about that's been part of the problem, right? So why don't you, Jeffrey, and others come here where it's open forum, rein me in, wrangle me in at times, right? Direct me, as if I don't let you folks do that. I make it hard for you, right? But help me to produce the award-winning content. I'm open for it. Guess what? It's never going to happen because you can't do that and be that at all. I may have that sometimes, far and few between. You don't have it at all. So, let's just work together, man. I'm giving you the offer right now. Jeffrey Phillips and others. I'm difficult to work with at times. I take over. I suck all the air out of the room. I fucking ramble and rant. But I'm open to people taking a crack at it.
And here's something I might add. Sorry, be enslaved.
No, go ahead. Take over, please. Shut me the fuck up.
As somebody who has had their conflicts with Mr. Enslaved here, he is actually, from my perspective, a nice person, good person, easy to work with. And it is, I'll say this, it is fascinating to think, like Jeffrey made that comment, he's not going to stop listening, right? He's going to hear every word you say about him. And there's this weird addiction, like he could unsubscribe from you. You know what I mean? But he's like addicted to you. And he says it's looping garbage, but like, well, that's what you're addicted to, Jeffrey.
But Probo, they fail to see this life is looping garbage to some degree. Are you kidding? You guys woke up the last 3 years, checked in on Paul Unslaved and 8 other F-list YouTube non-celebrities. What did you do? What did you create? I just put an offer on land today. I'm going to put in a tax-free requirement on that. I'm going to prove another concept to give away to the non-unity about rights, freedom, principles, and spiritual faith. And I'm probably going to go to jail doing it. Hello.
Stand up, brother. Stand up.
I'm going to ask you when I do again to come to visitation, if I have to say, and suck my dick in public, because I'm going to need some contact. I'm going to need some of that love-hate energy you got.
Dude, if you stood up while you said that, dude, I would have and you knocked down your chair.
I can't stand up. I would love to, but I can't. I'm overweight and I'm fused to the recliner, as many have pointed out.
But that would have made it so much better. If you stood up and you started fucking taking over the environment, that'd be like a man. Paul Enslaved really chimps out, dude.
No. So 4 years we woke up in looping garbage. Where, hold on, should I go to the clip of the guy who runs the last 4 administrations saying he doesn't know how the economy works or doesn't need to tell you? Should I point to the last fucking however many months of Kamala Trump for looping garbage? This is how ridiculous it is. So you want me to go outside the...
Oh my gosh. What's up?
Yeah, you there?
Yep.
Yeah, so get down. There we go.
Yeah, you're echoing.
Hold on one sec.
Someone needs to help him with his lighting. It's giving him like demonic vibes right now. I'm kind of scared.
What?
Yeah.
So yeah. What is this echo? Holy shit.
I don't know. Is it echoing now?
No, there we go. Sorry, we're good. I just had the YouTube running. So yeah, Paulie's trying to get your attention because you have a bigger channel than him. And he's trying to recruit people from you or get your attention for some reason. But he doesn't like me at all. That's why he's been sticking his nose around, is because his followers have seen me up on your show, and he's got his chip on his shoulder over me. And
kind of like you and Barry.
No.
Yeah.
Than me and Barry. I never personally had any experience with Barry. People like Adam, I had a very close personal closer situations with these guys. But Paulie didn't like how much attention I was getting on his show, so he had to make up some stuff, and him and his buddies and his yes men had to make up a bunch of shit about me and Adam.
What attention? What show?
It's been pretty funny. But this dude just he just loops the same shit over and over again. He does like 20-hour shows and has these idiot fucking loser incels that go up on his show day after day after day after day and stroke him off. And these guys don't even understand half the shit he's talking about. It's pretty funny.
Well, you got Red Jesus down on the bottom with the 20-pound gold chain on, and then we've got somebody who's obviously delusional in the middle. He thinks he's a wizard or something. I don't know. He's got some like
I think his name is
Huh?
I think his name is Wizard.
Look, this is what I'm talking about. This is the wizard right here. He's got my mic too, mother sucker. And then we got the fucking Red Jesus down here with 20-pound gold chain on. It's pretty great. It's pretty great.
Oh yeah, no. These are all people with no following. A couple of these guys. Well, it's funny because like all these guys, like this Provo guy, very nice to me. He's actually come on my show before, but then Paul just asked him about me, and he's, oh, I don't know anything about him. And it's like, bro, like a lot of these guys still talk to me and have talked shit about Paul. Paul's fucking crazy.
So what did Paul do to you that upset you?
I'm not really upset about anything he's done. He's just a funny character in internet land.
Oh. Yeah, they're rambling. Somebody's like restream them, and it's hard to listening to the yelling.
No, I wouldn't restream him. I wouldn't give him the attention.
Yeah, talking about a bunch of nonsense. I'm about to buy land. All right, bro. Whatever. Good luck with that.
Yeah.
More power to you. We want to make fun of Jeffrey anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, these guys, they're all trying to make case law too. But they're, like you said, more wishful thinking. You have to, get your ass arrested and all kinds of crazy shit, which is just kind of counterproductive. Because none of these guys get anything done. Fans of Paul's have been shot by cops.
Let's be real. None of us ever really get anything done.
No.
We're all grasping at straws.
Not on platforms. Not on these fucking platforms, that's for sure.
What's he rambling about? Who the fuck was the child that came into the basement? Did you see that shit?
Child in the basement?
Yeah, there was somebody came in called Adam 20 with a picture of a kid as their thumbnail thing.
Oh, there's like weird kids that hang out on Paul's show that are like underage and shit. And like he's
like, what the fuck?
Yeah. There's some really weird English kid. Yeah, what is this guy wearing?
Which one, the wizard or the Jesus guy?
The wizard. Provo's actually kind of a cool dude. The guy in the middle. I don't know the guy on the bottom.
The wizard.
Dudes all fucking worship this guy, and worshiping anyone is a little gay, in my opinion. This dude said really weird shit. You know that guy Jake Lee? Jake Lee's got a lot of receipts on Paul. Paul said some fucking weird shit on his show.
I think you worship me.
Yeah, Paul was in jail for doing something with a minor.
Huh?
Yeah, he admitted it on the show. It was pretty crazy. He tried to explain it to us why he got arrested for some sort of sexual thing on a minor. He said, "Oh, I just laid in this girl's bed, and her parents got really mad and arrested me, and I went to jail over it." And it's just like that story sounds pretty fucking ridiculous if I've ever heard it. But Jake Lee, we'll have Jake come up if you even care. On this guy's clownery.
Hey, your son is in the basement right now, trying to get up and trying to restream back to his channel. It's cute. I like it. Being in the basement, he can capture audio there. So, welcome to the Direct E Show. I want you to know that Jeffrey is your daddy, and he spanks you. And you need a driver's license, by the way.
Yeah, it's funny. Because I don't know his video. He's got one video where he convinced this cop to let him go for driving without a license. And, Paul's got a talent for talking. So he talked, he charmed this guy to death, and the guy let him go. And so because he made that video, that was credibility for him, like proving that you can do the whole driving without a license thing, but then the second and third time he did it, he got arrested and they took his car and he never got the car back, so it's like, in Paul's world, if you stand up for freedoms by getting arrested, driving your car down the street, that you're changing the world immensely. And, it's all about cars and traveling.
It's so cute. You guys are so cute.
Yeah.
Bro, with you, it's all about fucking plants and shit. What are you talking about? You got the same demons, you just point in a different direction.
Me, plants?
Yeah, you're like savior of the ants and shit, dude.
Savior of the ants.
Defender of ants.
I thought you meant like CIA plant.
No, I defend you, defender. I dub you defender of ants.
Is that the only problem you have with me? Is that I'm vegan?
No, I don't even care about that. That's not a thing I have a problem with at all. I think what I have a problem with is that.
Second time you brought it up.
Huh?
Go ahead.
I said what I think I have a problem with. Well, no. What I know I have a problem with is that you got your feelings hurt and you lashed out by claiming things without evidence of somebody, and then you tried to troll me in my chats, man.
Well, Barry can't prove any of the first things that he said about me. So,
It sounds like you guys need to talk.
You started it.
Look, I'll be real. It sounds like you guys need to talk and not literally, but figuratively hug it out and fucking apologize to each other. You know what I mean? If that's how you feel. And say, I just made some of this shit up because I was mad at him, and he made stuff. I don't know.
Anything up. I didn't make shit up.
Okay, let me rephrase that. You're right. Let me rephrase that. Hold on. Let me rephrase that. You got some stories and you ran with it without verifying the evidence. Okay, you didn't make anything up. There you go.
Yes.
Which is almost as bad.
It's weird. I just jumped over on Barry's show just because we're checking out all the enemies tonight.
Is he live right now?
Barry's voice has changed quite a bit in the last couple years. He used to have a very bassy voice, and now it's very high. I think he's having testosterone issues from all I don't know.
I mean, when we get to his age, I hope not. How old is Barry?
I don't know. You're his buddy.
Yeah, well, I didn't ask him what his fucking birthday was and his social security number. He's older than you, ain't he?
Yeah, he's probably at least 5 to 10 years older than me.
Well, you better hope you didn't just curse yourself right there. Start growing some boobs and shit when you get older.
No, dude, I am too active to grow tits.
I don't know.
I look like James Hetfield. That's a new one. Holy shit.
Who? What?
Someone just said I look like James Hetfield. I've never heard that before.
Oh, he left the basement. He's not here anymore.
It was weird. Delete. So Chili, after the stream last week, Chili sent me an email. but he claimed that he didn't know who I was in the chat. It was a little weird.
You have the email? Can we read it? You want to bring it up?
It was just a meme. It was just a meme that had like the Dunning-Kruger effect on it. Let me see. Let me pull it up. It was really weird. Because
did he ask you for any money?
He didn't know I was. Is that what he? No, I did not.
No, did he ask you for any money?
No. When he used to call me and talk to me for like 4 hours nonstop, he was saying that he knew a bunch of Hollywood higher ups that he would get money from. And we were talking about like videos he wanted to do, and he was like not having any input whatsoever. And then he like was like leaving me. I don't know. He is how he is. And so I was like, whatever. And then he hit me up once. He sent me a bunch of messages like holding like all this money, and he's like, let's make these videos. And I was like, nah, dude, it's cool.
Wow.
And then, okay, here it is. Dunning-Kruger chart by Neil Tyson DeGrasse. Delete laws. Love Chili. Dunning-Kruger effect meme. Yeah. I don't know if it's worth pulling up.
Does anybody in the chat want to see a meme? I thought it was something interesting, like
Dunning-Kruger chart.
Like I'm gonna find you. I have a special skill.
No, that's a thing. I saw the email and I was like, what the fuck? And then it's just a Dunning-Kruger chart. And that's all it is. And it says love Chili.
Oh, he loves you.
I'm Dunning-Kruger. I'm like on Mount Stupid of Dunning-Kruger. I don't know.
I don't know. He loves you though.
Obviously.
He wants to touch
Wobbly
you.
Boost doesn't know who I am.
Who?
Wobbly Boost was trying to say he didn't know who I was, but he does know who I am. He's just one of Paul's minions.
I mean,
Paul told all his minions to not talk to me anymore a while back.
You went from like the rock star life to like, defender of ants. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No. Ants and plants.
You're defending plants too? They have feelings? Are you telling me fucking trees have feelings?
No.
All right. At least you're not full crazy. You're 75% there.
85.
85, right on. Yeah, I know. Look, man, I know what's up. You guys, it's cool. You can spout your nonsense off in my chat. I mean, some people might be all right with that. I don't care. It's not counterproductive to what I'm doing at all, so that's why I don't have a problem with it. You know what I'm saying?
Know what I'm saying?
Know what I'm saying? Are you listening to him ramble? I think I can hear that.
I don't have the sound up, but I'm just looking at his chat. Someone said I look like James Hetfield.
Oh, you're reading his chat. Oh, okay. I got you.
Yeah.
Because somebody was like, I don't know him.
Bunch of old friends in there I haven't seen in a while. Bunch of losers. He's got a cult going on over there for sure. Super culty stuff.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
And be honest. Let's just say hypothetically that somehow I got a bunch of Scientologists allegedly that are Hollywood undead to talk to me, and I asked them to tell me who Shady Jeff is in their opinion. What are they going to tell me? I know they're not going to talk to me. I already know that, so that's why I'm asking you. You know what I mean?
I was only really, really good friends with one of them, the guy Jarrell. We never had beef. The other guys, they I doubt the majority of them would say they don't like me, obviously, because I drove them crazy over here. Because I gave them that career. And I was front and center for everything in the beginning. I got us the record deal. I did everything. I took them all to get tattoos for my cousin. I took them all to go buy clothes so they can look like me. They completely took my image. And then after they got rid of me, people kept talking to them about me for years, and they were trying to eliminate any record of me, and they weren't able to do that, and it drove some of them fucking kind of nuts. Because I would have people go talk to them and say shit to them and see how they reacted and stuff. It was funny. I just, they had a lot bigger platform than me afterwards and talked a lot of fucking shit and disrespected me, even though I made their careers. So they had a huge platform. So I could only fuck with them, try and, I didn't have the platform anymore, so I wasn't able to say shit. But yeah, so I was messing with them a little bit, but they got sick of, most of those dudes just didn't want to ever hear my name again because they had to deal with the fact that, when they hear my name, they'd know that they didn't start that band on their own. They didn't get the record deal. They didn't do any of the wheeling and dealing, or they weren't the image of the band. They weren't the topic of lyrical content of the band. They weren't the MySpace connection. They didn't have the MySpace connections that I did. They didn't know Tila Tequila. They didn't know Jeffree Star. They didn't know all these people. So, when you get rid of someone in a band and then you continue the band, you don't, you're like, you don't want to hear about it anymore. But if you talk to Jarrell, he'd have nothing but good things to say. The other guys, I didn't really have a very good relationship with them, and they were major Scientologists. So it was always kind of like 6 versus 1 the whole time because I was the one guy who wasn't a Sino. But they wouldn't have anything really bad to say,
Yeah, it just sounds like most.
Did that answer your question?
Yeah, it just sounds like most. Like when you hear about somebody leaving a band throughout any of the decades, that's like the story right there. We didn't agree, not to the detail, but for the most part, we didn't agree. You know what I mean? It was always some kind of fucking disagreement. Like, how come these bands that we like listening to can't just all get along and hug?
And there was 7 people in the band, so it's like, dude, that's way too many personalities to fucking deal with and have to like get along with. And I'm an asshole, like I'll admit it. I'm a fucking dick and I speak my mind. And I call shit out. And those dudes are fucking cringe Scientologists. And they were trying to give the church my fucking money the whole time. So I was like, I'm over this shit. That shit was embarrassing anyway. Like I was never proud of being in that band.
What was your role in the band?
Way more interesting, way bigger things in my life.
What was your role?
Huh?
What was your role in the band?
I was a vocalist and I co-produced and I was the manager until we got a real manager.
Nice.
I mostly did I was the like emo element. I did like all the screams and shit like that, and
I grew up with when that era bloomed when I was in high school with that. Thank you for that, by the way. MySpace,
funny, dude.
MySpace and the emo scene. Bro.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Those kids.
And then the kids are doing it these days. It's all like a throwback now. It's fucking pretty cool. Like all the shit I was into with it when I was a kid is like like hardcore music is huge right now. Like what's the band? Turnstile. I don't know if you've heard of Turnstile.
No.
Who else? There's a band called Drain that's really good. These bands are as big as like Metallica were back in the day, and they're like, for the most part, historically very underground, but like the sound is like a throwback now to the 90s. And it's like cool. It's hip again. It's weird. I don't know. But yeah, MySpace days were fun. They were a lot of fun. I went and saw Green Day with Tom from MySpace. Like we had like, it was one of the craziest nights of my life. Hanging out with Tom was always fucking weird. Because that dude was like as big a celebrity as anyone was in the world at that time.
Everybody was friends with Tom from MySpace. Duh.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the CIA, the first social media op to see if we'd actually do it and get on it.
Yeah, and you hung out with him. I mean, are you still maintaining your handler connections?
Handler? Yeah, no, I'm not. My Hollywood handler. I've been to too many Diddy parties.
Yeah, you've been on the boat, you've been on the island, and you've been to the big bed parties.
Definitely.
You're gonna have motherfuckers knocking at your door like, listen, we need to have a conversation. We have a couple court cases going on, and we saw this thing on the internet somebody sent us, and they said that you were at one of these parties here. Do you know about the lube? Can you explain to us what the lube is for?
Baby oil? The baby oil?
The baby oil.
Give me a second. Hold on one sec. I gotta pick up the phone.
Yeah, we're all curious. Put it on speaker. We want to hear. Jeff's got a room full of baby oil. What the hell is going on? Well, it's been a long live stream. You're going to have to scroll back to the beginning and start there. We've been live streaming about the Chitler. And then we pivoted because I got bored. But it's okay. Willie the Astro. He did answer the question, yeah. I mean, we all know that band's not going to, especially if they're Scientologists, they're not talking to me. I done been clowning that fucking cult scam for a while now, periodically. You not trick me with your alien Jesus bullshit, alright? I'm not buying it. No. I'm not going to fucking Krypton. I don't believe Zeus is coming to save nobody. I'm not buying your crazy shit, okay? We're all gonna go to planet Xenu. We are not human. We have been sent here to open your minds to space travel so you can transport yourself to another universe. Just give me $1 million and I will show you how. Robert, because a lot of people talk shit about him before.
What up?
You're echoing.
Yeah. How's that? Admitting what? What does Jeep have a clip of me admitting?
Are you reading somebody else's chat again, asking me questions?
Huh? Oh yeah, no, I keep getting these chats mixed up. I was commenting in Paul's chat earlier thinking it was your chat. Everybody's like, hello, you're in the wrong chat. I'm like, oh shit. It was like the first time I've seen that show in a couple years.
Are you feeling homesick?
No.
No.
Nothing but scum over there.
They love you.
Yeah, no, they're hilarious over there.
I think Paul wants to diddle you.
Oh no, he's admitted it on his show. Once I get the clips from Jake Lee, you'll fucking crack up when you see some of the weird shit this guy's fucking dropped. Dude's strange.
He wants to never mind, I can't do that. Oh shit. I can get graphic, but no, I don't want to get...
He tried to break me and my girl up, and we had just like everyone we met from that show, like fucking just was like a loser and lied about shit, and he was trying to snag Allie from me. And
welcome to the
buddies
internet.
Are like trying to. His buddies are hitting her up, all like, you should be with Paul, or you should be with Paul, and all this shit. It's like, are you guys fucking crazy? That's weird cult shit. Like, that's really weird cult shit. I'm not into the culty stuff, you know. I don't know.
Mitch is live and it says cops or police.
Paul is all talk. He doesn't walk his talk. Yes, he gets driven around by his girlfriend in licensed cars. And these dudes just worship him and think he's as if he's driving around with no license plate every day. It's pretty funny. Yeah. Right, you're a girl or you're a man. What? So yeah.
Barry's not live.
Barry's not alive?
Live.
Oh, live. He was live earlier.
Mm. Can I get a birthday shout out? No.
Whose birthday is it?
No. Some fucking dumbass with a troll account.
He's just left the show running.
His show?
Oh no, he's talking. Okay, no.
Yeah, he left the basement. I pulled a bounce chicka wow wow on him and just let him sit down there and stew.
Yeah, he doesn't like that.
So you'll come up here, you'll engage, you'll chit chat. That's fine. You're not like, constantly spewing this fucking vegan nonsense every chance you get. You do mention it every once in a while. I don't care. But I know, I can just tell having this mother sucker up here that I'm not even going to get 2 words in. It's going to be, I'm not fucking buying land and I'm going to do this and I've got this case and I got pulled over and no license. I won and Jesus told me to do it and I was a fish one time and now I can fly. Like, that's how the fucking shit's going to go. I already know.
Let him up if he wants to come back.
No, I don't want to.
If you've never seen the guy, he's a character.
I have watched some of his shit, unfortunately. But as soon as Bible thumping and legal shit gets mixed up, we have a problem here. Houston, we have a fucking problem.
I don't know about Bible thumping. He's into spirituality like I am, but it's not like Bible thumping.
Bro, look.
All spirituality is Bible thumping to you?
You guys are, yeah, okay. I'm not getting into it. I've expressed my views very plainly on this channel. I don't believe in none of that nonsense. We live in a tangible world. You know what I mean? If I punch you in the mouth, it's gonna hurt. I don't care how spiritual or Jesus Bible thumpery you are.
But you said you believe in karma.
That's not the same thing. That's not a spiritual thing.
It's absolutely the same thing. What do you mean?
No,
what you put out into the world, if you put out shit into the world, you're gonna get shit back. Like that's natural law. That's the world giving you back what you gave it.
Okay.
You aren't gonna teach your kids to be like moral or anything,
Well, of course, that's a given.
How do you not believe in any of this other stuff? How do you not believe that morals?
Why do I have to believe in some nonsense to just be a good person?
Well, if you believe in something that motivates you to be a good person, more of a good person than you might be, if you just think that you're here just to destroy everything.
Is that what you infer from what I'm saying or something?
Well, I was just answering a question.
I don't feel the need to assign myself to some ideology or belief system that is not necessary when I can accomplish all the morality guidelines and specificity of whatever kind of nonsense people are trying to spit at me without having to believe in it or, associate.
Do you believe in natural law?
No. I don't even know. I don't have enough information on that subject.
Common law and the whole legal system that you're into.
I don't understand the basis of your understanding of that to say whether or not I can talk to you about it. I haven't sat here and listened to you. I haven't listened to you say what that means to you. What is natural law? Tell me what that is to you.
Okay.
Educate me like I'm an idiot, because I am.
Okay. Mother Nature has made rules for us. When you jump off a cliff, you fall down and die. If you treat, and in the same aspect, if you treat a community a bad way, that the community will degrade. How could I explain this? It's kind of hard explaining it to someone who's not already a trooper, but if in our society now we got a bunch of immoral fucks just doing whatever they want, living a very extremely psychopathically selfish lifestyle, and that's why everything's fucked right now.
Well, hold on.
Getting back what we're
hold on. See, that's another element that I need to understand. What is a selfishly psychopathic lifestyle? What is that? What is the definition of that to you? To me, that's Might not be the same thing.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
So everyone basically ignoring morality. Maybe that's the best way of explaining people that are selfishly living a psychopathically selfish lifestyle. They just don't care about the people, the beings, the environment around them in the least bit. They're very selfish. We've been taught since birth to be very individual and compete with the people around us, so we fit into the tax slave system that we're in now.
So if I burn trash, does that make me a selfish person?
It would be, I mean, that wouldn't be the great, if you have a better way of dealing with it, yes.
I mean, I do, but I don't want to pay for the dump or drive all the way there, so I just burn it.
Okay, well, yeah, well, that would be the less moral. You would be doing the most amount of harm by doing it that way. So that would be not a great practice. I mean, you're able to do it. We're all able to do whatever we want, but we can choose a good way of doing things and we can choose a bad way of doing things. And us continuing to choose bad ways of doing things has gotten us to where we are right now, which is pretty fucked. But natural law is just, it's like if you kill people in a community, the entire community gets hurt by that because the laws of nature, it goes against the laws of nature to kill. That's why we know killing is bad, is because it
Who's this guy down here?
Everyone.
Who's this guy down here in the studio?
I don't know, but who knows? Maybe let him in and see what he has to say.
No, we're having a conversation. I'm curious.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was the link for you.
That was a link for me. Oh. He's coming in from later.
Yeah, I don't know who that is. Don't know who it is. Not trying to have a conversation with anybody else. Sorry if I hurt your feelers right now, whoever that was.
So, you know what animism is?
Nope.
Animism is like one of the oldest. I mean, I know it's not Bible thumping, but it's like the oldest religion. The Native Americans all kind of believed in it. It was basically like Mother Nature. It's worshiping of Mother Nature and acknowledging that the laws that Mother Nature gives us. And, natives, they didn't they didn't kill a bunch of animals and waste it. They didn't, it was kind of like the code people would live to back in ancient times. And that's kind of what natural law, once we got to modern times with modern philosophers and stuff, then natural law came. And then the basis of the legal system, common law, was kind of based off of natural law. The thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal. It's all about not stealing, basically. Not stealing people's property. Not stealing beings' lives, which is also property. I don't want to get too vegan on you. I know you don't want to hear that shit. But
yeah, bro, you're talking about like cats and shit.
Huh?
I mean, you when you say not killing, not stealing lives, like you're talking about fucking anything that's drawing a breath and has a heartbeat.
True, but we as humans are smart enough to do better. A lot of people like to use the whole, well, animals kill and animals do this stuff, but we're smarter than animals and we should know better. We should know that anything with a central nervous system, probably values its life and can, just as much as we do, and can be harmed just as much as we do. But anyway, in order to fix our society, we have to stop causing harm. And it's not just veganism, obviously. It's just easier for me to go to examples like that.
I have a question.
But, yeah.
When was the last time you did acid, DMT, or had like an ego killer mushroom trip where you did like 5+ grams or 7 grams?
I was into Molly. I had a couple pretty life-changing Molly trips. pretty long time ago.
But Molly's like, MDMA. It's a couple chemical compounds different than like an amphetamine. You know what I mean? I'm talking something psychedelic.
I had a pretty crazy experience on Molly though. Like I basically was able to remember a bunch of shit that I didn't remember from my childhood. Like I had like a guided session, and I fully had a life-changing experience where I stopped how do I explain it? I kind of just realized that we're all victims of our environment, and we're all victims of the past, and we're all victims of our parents and shit, and none of us really are responsible. I mean, it's kind of new age. It sounds a little new agey now. But I'm not in a period of my life of really experimenting with psychedelics. I did that all like a while ago. And what I noticed about psychedelics is I got a big experience. I got an experience out of it once, but not after the second time. I don't think it would do anything repeating it over and over again. But I don't. Yeah, I'm into other kinds of shit now.
I asked because you're like super adamant about this vegan shit, so I feel like maybe it was triggered by a psychedelic experience, and you saw the light and all the beings or something, and now you know what I mean.
I was raised vegetarian. I was born at home, no drugs. Raised vegetarian until I went vegan at 16. And I was super vegan, straight edge guy in the 90s until I turned like 22. And I moved to Hollywood and just raged in Hollywood and ate meat and did drugs and fuck bitches and did all that shit for like 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
And then got back and then pulled myself out of it and went vegan again after doing like paleo shit for years.
You fucking quitter.
I know. Quit the normie life. But
the normie life. No.
Yeah. So it.
Yeah, you're. Hey, are you? So let me ask you this: are you in like the same genre as those weird TikTok vegan fucking weirdos that I see people making fun of on like YouTube? Are you? Do you fall
most
into
vegans
that?
Are libs. They're like liberal weirdos.
Yeah, but they're that's vegan shit. Like that's where like the whole kale, the whole weird kale shit got popular a long time ago. It blew up on. You know what I'm saying? Do you fall into that same genre?
I don't fall into any genre of anything. I'm pretty sure.
You stand alone.
I'm a pretty.
That's a good
different.
That's a good Godsmack song. I stand alone. You know what I mean?
I stand alone. No, that was Pantera.
It's Godsmack too. It's Godsmack, and they made it for the Scorpion King soundtrack. I'm pretty sure.
The Scorpion King was sick.
Yeah, that was badass. Yeah, I Stand Alone, Godsmack. Yeah, that's the Scorpion King soundtrack. I had to check just to make sure.
Thanks, Emmy. But yeah, so I don't know. Natural laws, it's like the most basic, simple rules to live by. Just don't fucking steal from other people, basically. It's the golden rule. It's kind of the basis of all the legal system and all that shit. It's just they've, obviously turned the legal system into something completely different. Billions of policies and shit, not any...
Mm-hmm.
Real laws.
I agree. I definitely agree.
Yeah.
Somebody says Jeff's the kind of dude to watch another dude bang his woman. What the fuck? Is that true?
Nah, it's
is that some
listen Holly over there?
Serious question though. You were involved in like the Hollywood life for at least a little bit, on a serious level. So the shit that's coming out with these fucking celebrities, is there any truth to this? Would you believe what the stories that we're hearing? Is it like, yeah, I can believe that?
I am very skeptical of the Jeffrey Epstein thing.
Not him. I'm talking about this Diddy shit and all the evidence, that the lawsuits.
Oh, that's probably very real.
Yeah.
Like I know what's his butt? Anthony Kiedis has been fucking teenagers since 2004. You know, there's a lot of like sketchy, you know, underage shit always been super mainstream in Hollywood. I used to have to fucking check girls' IDs and shit. You can ask Evan Thomas. He used to check bitches' IDs. Any girls that would get within 20 feet of us, he'd check all their IDs because you have to. But that shit, you know, Diddy, dude, that guy's got all the money in the world to do whatever he wants. He's obviously a fucking lunatic. So most of these lunatics just fall into their like fucking weird dark shit. So that story doesn't seem. I'm not surprised at all. You know, gay Hollywood has been running the music industry for a long time. It's Jews and gays running all that shit. And I know like a lot of the hip hop dudes, like Dr. Dre and all those dudes, Tupac, all those dudes were flaming. So it's like, it's just all, Hollywood's just all bullshit. Just fucking bullshit.
Yeah, I think we're all starting to realize that more and more with cell phones and the internet and YouTube. You know what I mean? Hot mics and shit, bro. It's built up over the decades now. We're all aware. The illusion is no more.
Yeah. How are you skeptical of Jeffrey Epstein Island? Well, it's just it seems like a really, 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 really big this thing to distract a lot of people from. There's a lot of really bad things our government's doing, like the wars and stuff.
Yeah, but if it was,
they want us distracted with complete bullshit, so they just make things up.
If it was a distraction, why didn't they keep rolling with it?
I mean, it is still rolling. What do you mean? Everybody's demanding to see the rest of the fucking paperwork from the court, to see all the list of the names. It's like no one's seen the whole list of names yet. Like,
there's people paying attention, but when's the last time you saw it on the news? When's the last time you saw it mainstream? I haven't posted on X. I don't watch the news. Huh?
If it was ever reported on the news, it's an op, basically. And it was most definitely reported on the news. It just seems like your run-of-the-mill distraction. I mean, I'm not saying that it's just a speculation. Very well may all be true, but it did seem like kind of like too good of a distraction for them. It's like written too well, you know, like it's written like a movie. It's written like it's almost unbelievable.
Like Ripley's Believe It or Not?
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know, man. There's some wild shit happening. I have a feeling that this thing that just happened, and it's gonna more of that's going to happen over the next decade or less. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
I think it's going to completely kill not completely, but it's going to make the film industry not be as important as it has been over the course of Hollywood and shit. And
thank fucking God.
Huh? Yeah.
Thank fucking God.
Yeah, it's going to make people on like YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Those are going to be new world celebrity types.
No one's gonna watch movies anymore. Too long.
I mean, yeah, too long, and then you don't know if you're watching some fucking pedo. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, it's such a big story. It's hard to not think that it's all a big distraction. But I mean, it seems like. Because, like, the Jeffrey Epstein thing, that there's no way of us really learning anything else. But, like, the P. Diddy shit's, like, coming out now. And it's like, I don't know. It's just such a big story, and there's so many other things that are actually important going on in the world, but the media wants us focused on that right now, and you always have to question things. When you're like, okay, the media really wants us focusing on this subject, it's like, okay, well, what are they distracting us from?
Oh, I'm aware. I'm well aware.
Inflation.
I mean, it's like an unspoken, obvious thing that the media is part of the government. The mainstream media is part of the government,
Of course.
Yeah.
It definitely is. If you go up in the Hollywood Hills, there's a naval station. Jared Leto owns it now, but it was the government's film studio, and it's where they allegedly shot the moon landing. I mean, like, why would the military have a movie studio in Hollywood? You got to question, like, okay, what were they making?
They were making training videos on how to assassinate people, of course.
Yeah, and fake moon landing videos.
Maybe. Very, very possible. I mean, I don't put it past the American government to do anything. When they're willing to drop a fucking nuclear bomb on a bunch of a civilian population and vaporize hundreds of thousands of people, bro, I don't put it past them at all to do anything.
I don't know if nukes actually exist.
Oh wow, yeah, really? I know. I mean, unless my buddy was working at a fake nuclear silo, they absolutely exist. I mean, a friend of mine, Tuck Police Suck, is a fucking nuclear ordnance officer for the Air Force and was in the military. I mean, he was one of the guys in the silo with him. Huh?
How they get everyone to believe everything is they, give people jobs and tell them they're actually doing something, but that they aren't doing. Like my girl cousin went into the military. This kid doesn't have 2 brain cells together. Goes into the military and they put him in charge of the nuclear reactor. Like, I'm sorry. No, there's a video by a guy named Galen Windsor who designed the first 30 nuclear reactors in the USA, and he does lectures and he eats enriched uranium and has been doing it for 30 years, and he's still alive. He explained that basically the material's worth so much that they had to stay just so it wouldn't get stolen, just for security purposes. They had to make up a lie that nuclear radiation is dangerous. And this guy Galen Windsor, you can look up the videos on YouTube. The guy Galen Windsor, is just like, no, the government started telling us that we couldn't touch it anymore, and we told them to fuck off. I used to go swim in the fucking reactor pool and all this stuff, and they're lying to us. They've lied to us forever. We've been lied to since we're birthed.
So
in order to worship big government and
what happened to the Japanese cities?
Huh?
What happened?
They got firebombed. They're all made of paper. You think these fucking Japanese people knew what fell on them?
Have you seen the videos and the pictures?
Explosion and everything burnt up.
Of the aftermath and the shadows? That's not from a firebomb.
That's all propaganda,
That's
bro.
From a flash.
Propaganda, easy to make.
It's science.
Point at something and say, that's actually that,
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
they've never used another nuke.
That's
you think in the Korean War when the US was surrounded on every side, they could have nuked the enemy and walked away, and they didn't. We're supposed to believe that our government is level-headed enough to not use that weapon ever since World War II. There's so many reasons why it's bullshit. You can't believe anything they taught us. Like, everything they taught us it's history's written by the victor. They're always going to say they did this cool shit. And they've had billions and trillions of dollars in hundreds of years to work against us, to convince us that we're in the situation we are now, and we just need to keep paying our taxes and worship government when they're really the worst thing that's ever happened to anyone's fucking life.
I mean, I do question, most things, but I've never heard anybody I've never heard that conspiracy theory right there that the nukes that never happened. Huh?
I got plenty more from where that came from, bro.
Oh no.
I've been truthing a long time.
You've been smoking too much
I'm
weed
not a flat earther.
and going down too many fucking rabbit holes on YouTube.
Oh yeah. There's just been. You gotta always be doing research, man. You gotta always be educating yourself, and especially you should always be extremely critical of anything government says. You should almost assume that they're lying all the time and research to actually find the truth.
That's a biased position, though. Everything that you research, everything that you read is going to be tainted if you come from that position, though, because it's biased.
No, it's actually the scientific method. Like researching to debunk what you're researching, as well as research. You're supposed to be trying to debunk what you're researching, as well as validating it. Like, you're supposed to do both things. So starting from the assumption that something's bullshit and looking at it from a critical eye, instead of just assuming that everything that the government says is true, as a much more realistic way of thinking, when the governments are the biggest liars of all time. They've completely brainwashed us into being slaves and being okay with being slaves. Slavery never went away. The plantation just got bigger. We're all slaves.
So if you start from the position that they're lying, do you then try to validate or validate that, or? But then
you should always research with an open mind, and you should always take into consideration that something could be true. But I'm just saying, don't assume it's true just because it's coming from the government. Government's fucking full of shit, dude. All these fucking...
Yeah, but when you say you should just assume that what they're saying is that they're lying, that's starting from a place of bias, which means everything is tainted from there.
No, the normal would be biased to assume that it's true.
Well, no, you don't assume it's true, or you try to... Okay.
Most people absolutely believe everything government says is true. They look at government as the ultimate authority.
Yeah, I agree with that. And it starts,
most people are so gullible, they'll believe anything the government says without ever questioning it. So I wouldn't necessarily call it unbiased. I wouldn't call it biased. I would say it's neutral to at least assume, hey, they could be lying. I should probably look into this a little bit deeper with an open mind, and even with a critical mind, thinking that they're lying.
That sounds better.
Yeah.
Don't be a nuke denier, people. Somebody said
nukes are the ultimate boogeyman weapon. Nukes have scared billions of people for fucking 80 years, man. We're all scared about nukes. And what if they never existed? How much they lied to us. They barely had to say anything to us, and we believed it. And lived in suspense and paid our taxes, so we can make more nukes, so we can shoot the guys with the nukes first. It's crazy military industrial complex fucking bullshit. Propaganda.
I think there's a lot of propaganda, but you're going to have a hard time convincing me and 99.99% of the population that nukes don't exist.
Well, if you want to do some research, I can show you some really interesting stuff. I guarantee it's not just people making things up.
You didn't think that there was any metal in Japan at that time?
Metal?
Yeah. Where none of the buildings were made out of metal. They were all wood. There was no metal in the streets. There were no cars or nothing.
I think the majority of Japan majority of the houses were paper and bamboo during that time.
Okay, but there was still metal around. So, but I'm asking about metal because there was like literally melted metal, in the streets. There were images of people flash burnt into the sidewalk. How does a firebomb do that? Like you know how hot something has to be.
No, they're pointing at something and saying it's something when that's not what it is. Like just because there's a shadow on the ground, that there's things called anomalies, right? Everywhere in our lives in the world, you can dig up something in the ground that looks like a fucking baseball bat, right? That has been encased in rock for millions of years. It's not a baseball bat. It's just a rock that looks like a baseball bat. It's called an anomaly. So in any situation, you can find things look like something and convince people that they are that thing. So these shadows being burned into the ground because the nuclear bomb was so bright, just because there's a few pictures they took of the government has propaganda units that move in after war and like literally look for shit to lie to people with. Like that's how propaganda works.
It's more than just pictures. There's survivors. There's pictures.
It's a picture in your school book. When we were growing up, the school book was published by a company called Schuster and Goldberg.
I'm not even thinking about
they're telling us that this shadow on the ground was once a human. It's like we all bought it because we were too dumb to fucking critically think back then, and we believed anything that was in a book. But if you critically look at it, you're like, okay, that's probably bullshit. And if you know how much propaganda and lies come out of wartime, you can't believe anything. And if that's the only evidence you have that nukes exist, then that's not the greatest evidence. Like you'd think we'd have like loads of shit. Like no one has popped off a nuke since World War II. Like that's all these rogue governments have nukes. No one's popped one off. It's such bullshit,
What about Nevada and all the tests that have happened there? What about
they definitely tested shit. Just because they test things doesn't mean that.
What about the radiation in the waters around Bikini Atoll?
I have you been there and you tested it?
No, but there's several schools in America that
I
have
don't
sent
believe
scientists
that the radiation
out to test it. Yeah.
I don't believe that the radiation is harmful. So even if I went to Bikini Atoll and tested it, I don't believe that it's enough to harm me.
What about the mutated fish and
Japan's
wolves
not
at
full
Chernobyl?
of like hospitals full of people that are like mutated and shit from the nukes. Like there's nothing like that there. I've been there. I literally toured all the war places in Japan when I was in Japan. Like there's not everyone lives where they dropped those bombs to this day. Like
no, nobody lives near Chernobyl anymore. I mean, there's a point where you can't. Dude,
I was talking about Japan, I don't believe anything out of fucking Russia. For you to believe Russian propaganda is pretty silly.
There's
Chernobyl
YouTubers that have been there.
Just as big a part of the scam as any. The idea of Chernobyl and the meltdown, that completely reaffirms that nuclear energy or nuclear power, nuclear radiation is real. It's all part of the propaganda. But one of these nights I'll come up and I'll show you some pretty cool videos.
So, do you know how nuclear fusion works? I mean, do you understand how a reactor works?
Knowing how nuclear fusion works doesn't prove that nuclear bombs exist or we dropped bombs on Japan in World War II. Just like rockets going into the sky.
Hold on a minute. I'm talking about
all the shit that they're saying they are.
I'm talking about a nuclear reactor for power purposes, not a weapon, and we're talking about Chernobyl.
Yeah. we don't know the technology. We don't know exactly what's going on in these reactors. We aren't, only a certain amount of people in the world that have been trained a certain way that have government clearance are able to go in there and actually do this stuff. But we'll watch Galen Windsor's video. He's one of the most experienced nuclear power plant builders in the world to this day, and you can hear what he has to say about it. Because I definitely am not like a nuclear physicist or anything.
I'm not either.
But I don't need to be to see that we're being lied to. Just because a bomb has a mushroom cloud does not mean it's a nuclear bomb. Every explosion will have a mushroom cloud of some sort. So, all these reasons why people think, oh, I know that's a nuke because it's a video of a nuke because there's a mushroom cloud. And it's like, no, everything. If you have a fire in your yard, it makes a little tiny mushroom cloud above your house. They've pointed at really dumb shit as the evidence for this stuff being real. And we're just, we as the dumb general public have just eaten it up because authority told us, because that's who we learned all the real stuff from, allegedly, or how we were brainwashed to think that we need to, look at the government for all the answers when they're just fucking lying to us.
I've never heard anybody argue against nukes being in existence or like Chernobyl being a conspiracy
Dinosaurs
theory.
Are fake. I can go all night, bro.
Oh, wow.
Government is fake. It's all a fallacy. It's all in our head. We're all living in anarchy most of the time. We're all not, while there are laws around, we do self-regulate most of the time. Yes, dinos are fake. Look up the dinosaur wars. Do research about the dinosaur wars that happened in the 1800s. You'll crack up.
The dinosaur wars?
They want us to believe in all this stuff because it's all a part of their agenda of big government worship, brainwashing, completely controlling us in every aspect in our lives. It sucks. It's very emasculating not knowing that you have power over your life and that all of your choices have been made by the powers that be, for you ahead of time.
Hold on a minute.
Go ahead.
Hold on a minute. So what about the all the ancient structures around the world? Are those new?
No, there's resets that have happened over time. Where
I believe that.
The powers that be, the people with the most money,
maybe natural disasters.
It can be a natural disaster, but the powers that be will wipe an area clean of humans and then reintroduce humans in, owning everything, with the powers that be owning everything, where basically back in the past, we may have been taking advantage of a lot of free energy, right? Free energy technology. It's like occulted stuff. Are you into the occult at all?
No.
Okay, occulted information is information that has been hidden from us, the general public. It's probably beneficial technologies and shit that have been kept from us in order to keep us slaves. So in the past, we might have been living a lot more better lives, taking advantage of natural resources and having free energy technology. And so at a certain point, the powers that be are like, hey, we could be charging for all this shit.
Don't just say the powers that be. What does that mean?
Whoever has the most money and the most control in an area.
So that could be anybody.
Yes. So there's something called the Tartarian theory. There was a place called Tartaria that was around Russia and Mongolia, and it was a giant civilization, yet we know nothing about it. and it's been hidden from us and omitted from us because it was probably another large power that was wiped out and was wiped out wrongfully. And the powers that be, who were the victors, wrote them out of history. And the big thing about all the ancient structures is that, like North America, all of our cities are built on top of ancient cities. There were cities here. This wasn't just an empty plain that someone found in 1492. There was definitely a civilization here that was established, and the Europeans came and wiped everyone out. Basically, the Dutch East India Africa Company.
Okay,
and the Spaniards.
That's the answer.
The Spanish.
That's the answer. So yeah, you do believe that the structures are real.
Everyone.
We've just repurposed them.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I agree with that.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
With that being said, how do you account for the fucking dinosaurs being depicted in fucking stone in buildings that are tens of thousands of years old? Was there a conspiracy back then?
How do you know those are dinosaurs and lizards? How do you know those aren't figment of people's imaginations?
They were lizards. They were giant lizards.
Historical record.
Okay. So they're dinosaurs. They're just people's figments of. Okay.
No, look. Like I said, research the dinosaur wars. These two crazy scientists, hack guys.
I think I've seen that. It's a documentary,
invented dinosaurs out of nowhere, and it was such a good industry that they just kept it running. A lot of people make a lot of money over dinosaurs. Like I always thought going into museums growing up, I thought those were dinosaurs, but it turns out they're all plaster, and there's actually no complete dinosaur bones. And it's one of those things, the more you dig into it, you're like, whoa, no, this is complete bullshit. They're totally fucking lying to us. But it's become a part of our culture out of tradition, not because it's actually real, just like the fucking tooth fairy or any other fake shit like that we've worked into our.
Come on,
our
man! Don't tell me. Hold on a minute. Don't tell me you don't think the tooth fairy's real too, or not real.
No, the tooth fairy is real.
Yes. Okay. All right. At least we're on the same page.
Tooth fairy is real.
Don't fuck my childhood up, okay?
No.
I would rip my teeth out just to get $5. I'm just kidding, huh?
Yeah, dude, I would get 50 cents. I grew up in the 80s, bro.
50 cents.
I didn't have $5 till 1992.
That's about when I was losing teeth. Yeah, 90s, in the early 90s. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I found fossils before. Have you never found a fossil? I mean, how do you explain what that is?
Fossils are not dinosaurs. Fossils are real. I'm not saying fossils aren't real.
Okay, so a fish that doesn't exist anymore is not a dinosaur.
No, I'm saying Jurassic Park movie, those dinosaurs never existed.
Well, I mean, we know they never existed in the same time period.
Yeah.
Like
there were a lot of animals that we don't have now, and there were a lot of big animals and stuff, but like these brontosauruses that are the size of 2 city blocks, and Tyrannosaurus Rex, and all these, everything, their entire depictions are a fallacy, and there's no scientific evidence for them. They don't have full dinosaur, not like they've made every dinosaur from like a leg bone they found. They're all, we found this weird leg bone, and they'll design a fucking a creature around it, and then it gets forced into our society because there's like religious or anti-religious, like because dinosaurs fucked with like the Jesus story that like the atheists ran with dinosaurs really. Like there's a lot of weird stuff behind why we believe dinosaurs. But it's just, you got to do a lot of research, and this isn't shit I just made up. This is shit I spent months researching. And it's not, I'm not just like some batshit conspiracy head. I actually call out a lot of people for bullshit, wacky conspiracy theories all the time. So yeah, so it's like,
what about the
whenever you
T-Rex
want to
skull?
dive deeper, we can dive deeper.
There's a T-Rex skull. What is that? Is that was fake? That never happened?
There again,
In
earlier
Alaska,
I was talking
right?
about anomalies.
Was it Montana or
anomalies.
Alaska?
You can have, especially in geology, when you have like near lava flows and shit like that, you will find. I mean, I've seen rocks that look like a brick wall, like almost perfectly, like things. The earth can produce things that look like things but aren't things. So someone finds a rock that looks like a dinosaur skull. The Smithsonian comes around, picks it up. We always know this. I don't know if you know anything about the Smithsonian, but they've been used to lie to us about everything since the dawn of time, basically. Major USGS and the Smithsonian, they stripped the North America of all its history, basically, before we got here, and they repopulated the place during a reset. The USGS, the U.S. Geological Survey, was the hand of the powers that be that basically went out and looked at every inch of North America and reported back what they found. And so when they found ancient structures, if those structures didn't fit the agenda of the powers that be that were going to be repopulating the area, they wiped it off the face of the earth. And we've been cheated of our history or of the natural history of North America, because there was a lot more going on. I mean, dude, there's some more. The Civil War was complete bullshit. The Civil War, the North and the South fought together. They fought another society or culture that was here before us. It may have been Phoenicians, may have been the Moors, may have been a mix of native tribes from back in the day. But I mean, I could go all night, bro. The Civil War, that's all the Tartarian stuff, that's all Civil War stuff's bullshit. All the Tartarian researchers figured out the Civil War hoax. The San Francisco earthquake, that was bullshit. They just dynamited half the city to get rid of all the old structures that were too old to fit the agenda of the reset. The last reset happened in the early 1830s. It sounds like you've looked into a little bit of the old world history structures, the brick buildings and old shit like that. That's a really big, fun rabbit hole. It's kind of unending and kind of doesn't go anywhere, but it opens your eyes to like really questioning the past and researching actually what, like looking at old maps and old newspapers and old books from like fucking 600 years ago and shit. And like the old maps are the craziest thing, because there's like maps where Africa has castles all over it and shit. And it's like, what the fuck? Africa castles, So, Deb, what was your question? Deb's mad I didn't answer her question.
Do you like Graham Hancock?
Not really. I think Graham and all the Rogan guys are trying to, the younger Dryas thing that they talk about, the big flood that happened. That is propaganda to cover up the Tartarian stuff. So,
but there's actually
what's
evidence.
The other guy's name? Russell, the big Santa Claus looking guy that Graham's always doing stuff with. Yeah. He seems really cool, but I don't really. Graham just kind of rubs me the wrong way.
There's actual evidence of floods on a massive scale, like on Google Maps.
Oh, I know.
Look at. Yeah.
I know. No, it was the big lake up in Canada, in North America.
Almost every massive land continent has evidence.
Yeah. And do you know that
of a flood?
Yeah. one of the most geographically interesting places from the Younger Dryas flood. Jeffrey Epstein owned a house there. It was really weird. I watched this video and this dude was doing this deep dive on it, and it was like, this place is like where the big mud flood actually started, and then like Jeffrey Epstein had a ranch out there allegedly, and it's just like, what? That's weird. Like at this one place that's like super important, where the reset, the basis of a reset might have happened, because they probably reset after Younger Dryas, but they said 12,000 years ago. Yeah,
something
who knows?
Like 13,
who knows our
something.
history? Who knows our history? I have a lot of fun speculating.
Well,
So,
I mean, what about all the cave drawings and ancient depictions of aliens?
You could be misunderstanding what they're drawing. They could be using their imagination. Cave drawings, again, are not historical record. They're actually, most of it's graffiti. While should have, there should be some truth to, some of the images and stuff. You can't look at it as historical record. And, just because something in the past resembles something we have now doesn't mean that that's what it was. I don't buy space travel, so the whole alien thing, that falls into the whole dinosaur category, in my opinion, because the alien conspiracy was like the first conspiracy that the government fed us back in the day, and the alien conspiracy completely backs up the idea of space travel. So it definitely helps out the government that the alien conspiracy has been around, the flying saucers and all that bullshit, because they're able to enslave us by, putting NASA, into business and having us be tax slaves to NASA, and them trying to get us off this rock someday we're on, floating in Earth. And I just think we're being lied to about everything, and I don't really have an opinion on what, whether the Earth's flat or round or an oval or concave. I just think they're lying to us, and I'm not really sure where we are or what we're doing.
So,
'cause I haven't really been given concrete evidence, just a bunch of bullshit when. They taught us when we were too young to critically think. They just forced it down our throats.
Yeah, the cave drawings and shit from like 10,000 plus years ago are, I mean, people from that time frame didn't have the creative and developed minds that we do now. And, they weren't just making shit up. What they were doing is drawing depictions of things that they saw.
Who, though?
Huh?
They weren't as sophisticated as us back then.
Because they were fucking doing finger painting in caves. When's the last time you did a finger painting in a cave?
That's true. Fair enough.
You know what I mean? I'm just saying, dude, like
180 years ago.
And let's get away from caves. Let's move into religious texts and all the the supposed religious sightings and encounters and all this. I mean, Ezekiel's wheel is a perfect example of that. Of this spinning orb and this guy walks out. Like, bro, these are fucking. The stories, there's Christian art with, literally fucking drawings of spaceships in the sky with people in them. Oh, ancient, like not ancient, but old Christian art with this shit in there. So, I mean, how do you explain this
aliens,
stuff?
Bro, I've seen it all. Like
there was no government back then, so who was trying to feed us this shit? Like, were they not just drawing things that they saw or maybe experienced? Like, why? If they're trying to... Huh?
There's always been elites, bro. There's always been elites.
Well, obviously, yeah, but not the government.
And we don't even know if there's, the elites were the ones keeping the finger painters in caves, like keeping technology from large groups of people. Like the the powers that be are big enough and organized enough to do these things over time and just lie to us in our school books, and we just believe it and we don't question it because we don't even know it happened. You know?
Okay.
I'm a big skeptic, bro, like across the board.
I am too, but when my brain works in patterns
Like
and
I am,
logic.
obviously.
Huh?
Well, what's logic? Some guy, some teacher taught you? You know?
No. What makes sense?
Yeah. Some things that make sense aren't true, though. A lot of things make sense.
You're right.
True.
You're absolutely right. But if there's a pattern of things that make sense, then it tends to lend credibility that it's true, right? Isn't that how you base your whole theory?
Barry being a piece of shit?
Huh?
Kind of like Barry being a piece of shit?
Exactly. That's what you base that off of, is it not?
Yeah.
Okay, then.
Yeah. But what the thing is that the powers that be have been lying on top of lying and top of lying and top of lying and top of lying on top of lying, and we don't know what's legit anymore, you know. They've been reinforcing the lies with other lies, and I just you got to be skeptical of everything, you know.
Like if we were talking about
everything, hook, line, and sinker.
If we were talking about something like the JFK or Martin Luther King situation, then yeah, there's not enough patterns of logic to say, yep, the government did that, or nope, somebody else did that. You know what I'm saying? Like that kind of thinking can apply in that situation. But when we're talking about stuff that's as old as finger paintings and religious texts and shit, it's hard to, you know. It's hard to think a different way.
Paintings and religious texts aren't historical record, though. They're just some shit some people wrote down.
That's what a historical record is, yeah.
Yeah, but you can't, you know.
Hold on, man. My generator's dying. I gotta go turn that shit off.
A fallible human made that information. And most humans have some sort of agenda. And most religious texts are directly a part of the elites and the powers that be, because religion is used to control. So that would make me even more skeptical about something or any history or laws or traditions that come of those texts, I guess.
You're muted. You mute.
You mute.
Yeah, you're there.
Oh my God, they're still talking about us over there.
Oh, that's cute.
They're still going crazy. Yeah.
They love me.
He's trying to make it sound like I've been watching his show ever since I left it. Right off the bat, he's all, you've been watching for 3 years.
Look, I'm prettier than you, so I think that they're actually just watching me, and you're just an additive, added bonus.
Yeah. They definitely organically found you the moment I showed up on your show.
Right? It was a coincidence.
Hey, if there's anything you know about me, is I obviously trigger people.
Oh yeah. You get pretty triggered yourself, so you know what I'm saying?
You have not seen me triggered. What time is it? Oh my God, it's 12.
Oh my God, it's 12. Do you have a job?
John?
I don't know. I'm not trying to get like personal or nothing. But
no, I'm in there. I've been into crypto for a while.
You don't need to work then, yeah.
I mean, I still do a little bit, but mostly for fun. I work on motorcycles and shit like that.
Do you sing in the shower still?
Used to build vintage motorcycles and stuff like that. What'd you say?
I said, do you sing in the shower still?
No. What does that mean?
Oh, fuck, dude. Jobs aren't real. Yeah, everybody's like, what the fuck?
Jobs aren't real. Exactly. No, the dollar's not real.
Well, we know that.
All that shit,
We know that.
all that work you put in to get that dollar, and it's just not.
Yeah, we all know that. We're aware that.
You got any crypto?
No.
Oh, you should.
No.
You should. Bro, okay, I'm gonna show you how to put together wallets for your kids. Just throw a few $100 of crypto in for your kids, and they will most definitely thank you someday. It's very easy. Small investment now, and that shit's the future. Unfortunately.
How do you not question crypto when you question fucking everything else?
I totally question crypto. It could all be bullshit.
It could all be bullshit.
It hasn't been for me so far.
There's been,
I mean, you should at least.
There's been so many scams. Nobody trusts that shit anymore. It was cool, 5 years ago. Not anymore.
Crypto has a 4-year cycle, so every 4 to 5 years it gets cool and then gets uncool for 4 years and then comes back and is cool again. But no, if you follow it, the scams are obvious scams. If you're really into crypto, it's the future. Unfortunately, not saying it's the best thing, but unfortunately, you might as well take advantage of it now while you could gain wealth from it instead of just it being forced on you in the future and you not being 5 steps ahead of the game. If you put a couple $100 worth of crypto in a wallet in your kids' names, both of them, you just forget about it. You give them the codes when they're 18 or whatever, and they'll have a fat fucking advantage on people and not having to slave as much as we did growing up. I got wallets for both my kids, and they're going to be real happy when they get that shit. Because I don't know, I had $80 turn into 10 grand once in crypto. It's that kind of gains. So, it's worth the gamble of a few $100 or $1,000 or something.
If this BRICS thing really takes off, we really might be my crypto might be where it's at.
What are you talking about? Central banking coins?
No, there's a move to devalue the American dollar across the world.
A move?
Yeah, you haven't.
That's been going on for 100 years.
Not this, no.
BRICS is what it's called. I'll look into it.
Yeah. Interesting shit.
I mean,
if it goes the way that it's planned, I mean, the American dollar is not going to be worth a mother sucking thing. You're going to be wiping your ass with it and burning it.
That's what needs to happen, in my opinion. Dude, the fact that they still give us pennies just shows you what they think about us. It's 2024 and they're still making us deal with pennies. That's infuriating. We spend a year of our lives counting change, bro.
I don't keep change. If I go to the gas station and they try to hand me change back, I just tell them to keep it or
throw it on the ground.
Or they got a little dish sitting there for dogs or some shit. You know what I mean? It's either for dogs or the homeless or something. I cannot stand having fucking change in my pocket. It's like an OCD thing since I was a kid. I used to skateboard a lot, so change in my pocket dude, it was fucking weird.
Banging against your legs and shit.
Yeah, or falling and having quarters dig into my leg. I usually carried an MP3 player in my pocket, and I couldn't have change in there,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, those are the good old days. Ooh, they got those big skate parks in Arizona. I remember hanging out at some of those big ass skate parks.
There's a lot of them. Skating sucks though. I fucking hurt myself.
Dude, skaters are fucking magicians, man.
I broke my foot and dislocated my ankle when I was 18, and I threw my skateboard into the middle of the skate park and was like, fuck this, I'm done.
Yeah.
That was my worst injury, and I had to drive myself to the hospital after that. Good thing it was my left foot.
Ouch.
My ankle's like dangling and shit, and I'm on my buddy's arm, and he's taking me into the hospital, and they're like, what's wrong with you? And they look down at my foot, and they're like, okay.
Oh shit. It's all wagging around.
Yeah, dude, it was gross, and it fucking hurt. Ooh.
I broke my ribs in a bike race last year. It was pretty gnarly. I finished the whole race with a broken rib.
Yeah, you can still function and move around when you hurt yourself. I mean, I snapped my leg in half when I was a kid and tried to walk on that shit, and it compressed and the bone shot out the skin. Like, yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
dude, I was doing backflips on a trampoline when I was a kid, and I landed wrong, and I crushed 2 vertebrae in my back. And it was unreported. Like, I didn't go to the doctor or anything for it. But I was also in Boy Scouts, and I would go on these fucking like 50-mile hikes up Mount Whitney and shit with like shitty old heavy equipment on my back. And I fucked my back up. I already kind of had scoliosis to begin with. Yeah, my back is fucked. But somehow, I mean, if I stop being active and like for a long amount of time, like I'll become crippled from my back. So I gotta like stay, like I gotta keep an active lifestyle and eat good and shit like that, because my back would just go to shit.
I have a scoliosis of a 12-degree curvature caused by that break that I just told you about. When I broke my leg, it was a compression break. So, I mean, part of the bone was disintegrated. They had to take cadaver bones, so some dead person's bone, put it in my leg and have it, grow back together. But when this was happening, it messed with the growth of my legs. Like, my right leg my left leg started to grow faster than... No. My right leg started to grow faster because it was broken. So my body was sending nutrients there, and it was throwing off my spine. And set off, caused me to have a small degree of scoliosis and walk funny. Dude, this fucking doctor in Arizona had to take x-rays of my hand to develop a pattern of bone growth. So over the course of a year, he took x-rays of my hand and developed my growth rate, patterned it out, and then decided on a time frame when it would be appropriate to drill fucking screws into my knees and into the growth plates behind my kneecaps and my legs.
Jesus
to damage them, to stop them from growing. So by the time I was done growing at like 20, 21, that both of my legs would be equaled out in length. It's fucking crazy what this dude did, and it worked. I still have the back problems, but I don't walk with a limp like I used to. Like, I used to walk with a noticeable limp from this shit.
That's fucking crazy. The dude just like put you back together.
Yeah, well, it was like, measuring a pattern of a human growth from the bones in my hand to decide when would be a good time to stop the growth in one leg so the other leg could catch up to it by the time I stopped growing, and I was an adult, quote unquote.
Yeah.
I have all the documents.
Weird alchemical fucking
the x-rays,
weird.
Everything. It's the pictures of my hand, the chart, with my growth rate on it. The fucking shit's insane. And I never realized, now that I'm an adult, I realize it, but I'd look out the window as a kid and look at this doctor's car that he would drive to work in. And, bro, he was driving to work in, like, some 1930s, like, completely cherry red, remodeled Ford something. You know what I mean? With all the chrome windows, or the chrome mirrors and trim and the super nice flat glass. It was, like, because it looked like a toy car, dude, like one of those little Hot Wheels you would play with. Now I know this motherfucker made millions. You know what I mean? Because, dude, who knows how to do that kind of shit? You're charting a child's growth so you can damage growth plate in a leg to make the other leg catch up. That's fucking... That's crazy stuff right there.
Yeah. That's nuts. That's some weird new shit. But that dude is just a G who had like some serious shit passed down to him somehow. That's fucking crazy.
That like, you know, you hear a lot of horror stories about the medical industry and doctors and shit, but my experiences were around breaking my leg for the most part. And dude, like, it was everybody that I had dealt with was like some of the best in the field. Because when I broke my leg, it got an infection, and in the 90s when that happened, they had to fly a specialist in, a specialist from another country. I want to say like Japan or China or something, and to be able to fix my shit. I had an external fixator. I don't know if you know what that is, but I had a bar that went on the outside of my leg with medical screws that got screwed into my bone so it would hold my leg together.
Yeah.
Crazy shit. And I fucking have that device still, that medical device, the metal bar. I have all the screws that were in my leg.
Yeah. Crazy. When I was
I can barely hear you.
When I was in elementary school, they fucking guinea pigged a bunch of ADD pills on me. They used to make the nurse would call the classroom and tell the teacher to give me my pill, and I'd take it in front of the fucking classroom. And kids would make fun of me and shit about it. It was fucking crazy.
I took Ritalin from 4 to 7.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. And then they were trying this shit called Dilantin. It's like an anti-seizure medicine they were putting on me because I'm so hyper, they said. But
that's why I think it's funny. People
pass out my desk and drool on myself.
They wouldn't do that to me. That's why I think it's funny. Remember, like last time you were up here, I told you the tweaker shit. I think it's funny because, like, from my childhood being on that Ritalin shit, I realized what it was. You know what I mean? I don't take fucking Tylenol. I don't fuck with nothing because of that time in my childhood. You know, these pills made me feel weird, and as soon as I stopped taking them, I noticed a difference. Even at 7 years old. I had my third grade teacher got fired because they started giving me pills, and he was like, dude, this is like the brightest kid in class, and now he's like falling asleep in his fucking desk. And then I went to go live with my dad, and I had like fucking braces, and I had like headgear, and I was on all these meds, and my dad's like, you want to do any of this shit anymore? And I was like, fuck no. And he fucking straight pulled my braces out with his fucking pliers, threw the fucking Ritalin in the trash, and just let me get off all the shit. I grew up in like Orange County, and it's just like Southern California, just psycho, like, you know, like giving kids fucking plastic surgery and shit place, you know, like. Yeah, I know. I was born in California.
In the 80s, especially, so much cocaine in the 90s. Hey, so do you get dinged for smoking weed on the show?
You will, yeah.
Yeah, I used to smoke a blunt at the beginning of every show, and I was just getting dinged every time. And then the second I stopped, it went away. And then I've been hiding it, and it seems like, but it says in the rules that they don't care about weed anymore. But it's like,
I know.
It's weird.
I know. It says if it's legal, then it's not a problem.
Yeah.
But obviously, I don't think that way.
Yeah.
It's just something to be PC, you know?
Yeah.
People want you to conspiracize some more.
Oh, yeah? Let's see. What's another crazy one? Let me think.
Chucky the Doll was a documentary.
What's that?
Chucky the Doll movie, it was a documentary. It was actually real.
Chucky. Remember Bride of Chucky? That one.
Dude, that shit was brutal. That gave me nightmares as a child.
Dude, remember Nightmare on Elm Street?
I didn't watch those until I was an adult.
Up in the 90s.
No, I watched those
Really?
until I was an
Yeah, I
adult,
got to watch that shit when I was way too young.
The worst I could get out of my parents, dude, I grew up in like a Mormon household, so I didn't really, R-rated movies were shit that I had to watch when my parents weren't around, or I was over at a friend's house or something. Like, I couldn't even fucking drink caffeine. Which I don't think is a bad thing. I'm not going to give my kids caffeine, you know?
I was going to say, it was probably pretty good.
Yeah, I agree, yeah. But I mean, being like 16, 17, even at 17, when I was like kind of still living at my parents' house, I wasn't allowed to fucking drink caffeine. I wasn't allowed to. If I was living at my parents' house, bro, I had to be home when the lights shut off on the fucking street. That old shit that you hear. My mom really did that. You know what I mean? I couldn't. It sucked. I felt like I was in prison.
Yeah. She would make me be home by sunset. But she didn't know where the fuck I was that day. And I'd be 2 counties over sometimes. Fucking crazy. Like, I remember being really young, like really far away from my house growing up. But Orange County was pretty safe. It was a pretty safe place to grow up. But yeah, I had to be home. And right after school, I had to be home right after school. Oh my God, that was the worst. I can't go to my friend's house to hang out. Yeah,
I had to be home because I had younger sisters, so I had to be home and make sure that my sisters were accounted for. Call my mom and check in, do chores, do my fucking homework, and then after 5 o'clock, assuming I got everything done, I was allowed to play video games until bedtime at like 7:30 or 8. I still remember my schedule.
Yeah. I remember my address, my phone number, everything from back then. We were good learners back then. I can't memorize shit these days.
Yeah.
Some more conspiracies, huh? The pyramids in the Grand Canyon. So the pyramids were actual, they're called, what are they called?
Giants.
The pyramids they're water pumps, basically. They're water pumps to, they're a certain kind of pump.
For gas.
No.
Yeah.
No, for water. For just regular water, pressurized water. You use gravity, basically, to it's a sort of pump that is not, an electric pump. It's a pump you could make with just trapdoors and water system, like a water tunnel and stuff like that. But the pyramids are just water pumps that were vandalized by later civilizations. And then we've just thought they were way more important than they actually are, when they were really just Grand Canyon, was probably carved out by the younger Dryas stuff we were talking about earlier. But there is some weird Egyptian shit going on in the Grand Canyon that's kind of strange. I don't know if there's anything to it, but I have done a little bit of research on it. There's a lot of allegedly there's some cave in the Grand Canyon that was full of relics, Egyptian relics. And then in that canyon, there's a bunch of mountains, and they're all named after Egyptian pharaohs or something like that. I'm not sure if there are any other weird conspiracies I know about the Grand Canyon, but they're not, yeah. But yeah, they're pumps. I'm trying to remember the name of the pump. I'll look it up real quick.
I don't really think that the Grand Canyon is a conspiracy. There is a place there that if you get too close, that you will get approached. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, there's obviously something suspicious down there. Ram pump. The pyramid's a ram pump. You could definitely, if you want to look into that, there's plenty of information about the pyramids being ram pumps. And they've actually rebuilt the pyramids and made them as ram pumps, and they work perfectly.
Problem solved.
And a ram pump, in order to work, has to be built a certain way, with a certain amount of things to it, and the pyramids have that. And they made a small one first, when there was a small population. As the population got bigger, they made a bigger one.
What about
but
the
it's nothing, like all these people that just like go crazy about hypothesizing about Egypt and stuff. It's the thing we've been lied to about.
What about the chemical testing that's been done on the chambers in there?
Well, I mean, carbon dating's bullshit to begin with.
Not carbon dating, the chemical testing.
Chemical testing that says what?
You haven't. There's been chemical testing that's been done on the interior chambers, the king's chamber, all that kind of shit on the main pyramids, and it's like fuel. You know what I mean? You've never heard this? I thought you researched this shit.
They found like a residue on something on the wall.
Yes.
Of fuel.
Yes.
Well, it like I said, they were repurposed many times by many different eras of Egyptians. So they could have been used for something. I mean, I've heard. I mean, there's this. They said that there's something about it. It was like they'd fill it with salt water, and the vibration that the moon made turned it into electricity or something. I know I've heard that before too, but I think the ram pump thing is a little bit more reasonable because plumbing has been important all throughout history, and running water is a luxury, and running water next to a giant city, with irrigation and all that stuff. And the ram pump theory, I think, is the most reasonable. Not that it's like an alien landing pad or some bullshit fucking conspiracy, far off conspiracy. But they could have been used for many different things. But I like the ram pump thing. And as far as like conspiracy stuff goes, it's like kind of a cooler rabbit hole.
What about the caves underground with no lighting, that have the intricate designs and drawings with
airport? Oh, under Egypt?
Yeah, and there's no soot marks.
Yeah, there's some crazy shit. There's definitely some crazy shit there. Crazy structures. But like people back then, they didn't have like porn and the internet and shit. All they had was their job and skills that were passed down to them for millennia. And they're out in the desert, like all these great structures. They had plenty of time and skill to make these things. And it's very hard for us to think that, these sand people could make these huge structures and stuff out in the desert. But that's with our modern feeble minds that are, distracted with bullshit all day. It's hard for us to think like, oh, how could I build a building? But back in the day, when your dad was a master architect, from 2,000 years passed down of how to carve rock and shit, they're going to have some results that look like they'd have to be made by a machine these days, but really they were made by super professional artisans that were just extremely talented on a level that we just don't have today. So it's like, who's more advanced? These guys that could duplicate, making giant statues over and over again and make them all look the same, with like hand tools. Or are we more advanced these days with our fucking cell phones? It's like who, like I went and lived in Central America for a while, and my friends down there, like it's a third world country, but they're not impoverished, man. They're way happier than my friends in the Hollywood Hills, that's for sure. So like all these, poverty, like propaganda, I don't know. It's all a matter of perspective. But I like the alternative theories.
How did they get those big ass stones into place?
It probably wasn't that hard. There could have been a number of ways. It's not that hard to move a rock, you know?
It's very
It
hard.
really isn't. It's just, dude, Ancient Aliens just fucked everyone up and made everyone all, woo, you know? Made everyone batshit.
I have giant rocks near me that I would love to move, and that's why I'm asking you. Is I need to move these rocks, and without renting heavy equipment.
In your yard, on your property?
No, but close enough that I want to move them from point A to point B.
Do you have I've been using a bobcat.
But that's cheating
on my property.
I want to learn the magic fucking secrets from ancient Egypt to move these goddamn rocks.
How big are they?
I mean, the size of a car.
A car. Because like with a fulcrum and like you've seen where people can move a huge rock by putting a rock under it and putting a stick on it and strapping a strip.
It's in dirt. That ain't happening.
You'd have to bust it up, move it into smaller pieces probably.
No, but I want one chunk. I'm trying to put one rock on the one side of my driveway and one rock on the other side, you know, and then build my fence off of that. Put bolts into it.
Round wood poles and start digging underneath it and putting them underneath and get it all on those rollers and basically push it or pull it with a truck or something on the rollers, and you move the back roller to the front, and you keep as the rock moves, you move the posts that you're rolling it on.
That sucks.
The one in the back you move to the front as it moves.
That fucking
but I don't know
sucks.
if it's the size of a car. That's like 3 tons or something. That's a lot of weight.
Yeah.
I don't know if you do that.
That's why I
don't have any rocks on my property that big.
Shit. That's why I want
to rent them sometime though. Bobcats are dope. I've been having a lot of fun digging shit up with my bobcat on this property.
You bought a bobcat?
No, I just rented one.
Yeah,
fixing the road.
I'm gonna buy one eventually. I want to get a backhoe.
Yeah, because you could rent them out for like a few $100 a day.
Probably like something nice excavator maybe. Something good. I need something with rock teeth on it.
Yeah.
Those are high hopes though. One day when I'm a gazillionaire.
Yeah, dude, heavy equipment is shockingly expensive.
Fuck yeah.
Chicken sandwich time.
I know you're eating a chicken sandwich.
That shit was pretty funny.
I really think that's what your buddy Steve was doing. Well, okay, I won't say your buddy, but what Steve was doing too is walking into the kitchen and taking a bite of a fucking hamburger or something.
I don't know. I had someone, because of what happened, a bunch of people are coming to me, and there's been a bunch of question whether or not he's vegan or not. And obviously, if he's a fucking racist, he probably doesn't give a fuck about veganism, really, and just using it to get clout or whatever. I don't know. I don't know what clout you get from being vegan, but like, bro, I'm a cyclist conspiracy guy who's into crypto. I'm like the most annoying dude in the fucking world.
Who he is or you are?
Me, yeah.
Yeah, I won't argue with you.
And I got a podcast.
He seemed so butthurt that you were calling him out. Like, I can't believe you're doing this to me right now. But he stayed and took it until you kicked him.
Who?
Oh, Stevie.
Oh, Steve, I know. He was all baffled.
Bro, what? What do you mean?
You don't hate ends?
Like, wow.
That was
sad.
Very sad. Because dude has no friends now. But that's what you gotta do.
Did you read that article before I deleted it?
No. Someone, yeah. I think I had seen it somewhere.
Bro, dude, what the fuck?
Tried to blow up a hospital or something?
Didn't try. He just threatened to.
Yeah. A hospital?
Yeah.
Now it seems like totally, that someone that unhinged would do something like that. Well, it's just weird because he hangs out with this guy, Mark Passio, who's pretty legit.
Yeah.
But like people can be deceptive and hide shit like that for a long time. I mean, I didn't know Steve very long. He only started coming up on my show recently. But we kind of, he kind of got the extra benefit of the doubt because he's like buddies with someone who's kind of legit. So it was kind of weird. But he might just not know. Because I haven't known him that long, but I didn't know he was fucking racist, like a proud card-carrying racist. Like, holy shit. He was like one of those white nationalist guys or like alt-right guys or something like that, like from back in the day. Very weird. But people like that gotta go. Delete lips. That's so weird. He sent me a message though. So, bro, I don't know who you are. You don't know me. Emails me. Like that's some. He must have remembered who I was and then been like, oh, it was that fucking dude. But that guy's definitely fucking unhinged. It's a typical weird Hollywood actor guy, like.
Hey, somebody just sent me a clip of somebody just clipped me doing like a lip sync to one of his live streams and sent it to me. Hell yeah.
Boy.
Hold on,
that last video you showed was really fucking. He's all, oh yeah, I'm smoking weed. Like, dude, put down the fucking meth pipe.
Super.
He's all, no, I'm high on weed, you guys. I'm high on weed. That's why it's making me talk super fucking fast and be all twitchy and shit.
Bro. Hey, and there's a lot of people that still support that. What?
No, I was just talking to Bob the Slacker in the chat. Who's supporting what?
Your Delete Lips dude that you've met.
What's he? Oh, who's supporting him?
There's still a lot of people that support him. They don't realize what a piece of shit he is.
Dude, there's so many fucking morons out there.
Oh yeah, we're discovering that recently. Yeah, we know.
Yes. No, people don't care that people are bad.
I know.
Nowadays.
I know. That's the realization that I had. I didn't understand that dynamic before. I just came to that realization like, we don't care. Government's bad, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, and they just want to continue following this person on YouTube that they think is a friend.
Yeah,
and they don't care. They don't want to change. They don't want to stop watching something they like watching because of some minor thing that they don't really care about.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm telling you, dude, we've been brainwashed into being immoral pieces of shit. Like all these fucking dudes. Like if the cops were gone, it would be mayhem because we're not ready to have freedom. We're still completely slaves to the powers that be. Like I was saying earlier, like everything, all the decisions we make, they've already pre-made for us. We eat what they want us to eat. We do everything they want us to do. They allow certain information to get to us. we don't have access to most of the information, because why would they show it to us? That would help us out and not them. It's all a big racket.
Yeah, I actually just got a bunch of links about Chile.
A bunch of new ones.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, more stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot, dude. There's a lot. I mean, the dude's 50, so I mean, he's got a lot of history.
No, yeah. From 2012, the Ron Paul thing that happened when most people got red pilled.
I don't know. I don't even know.
Yeah.
I don't know about all that.
The first time I met him, he like ran across the street and like grabbed me and lifted me up in the air and like threw me up in the air. And I was like, who is this fucking psychopath attacking me right now? He's all, Jeffrey. Stop. Dude was just like, Adderall, man. It's a hell of a drug.
He wanted to be famous and he
all
failed.
Those juice heads, all the guys that do steroids, they do this stuff called what's it called? They do like these. They take these drugs that like cut your fat off of you, and they're just like crazy uppers. And so most dudes that are like juicing that like work out that much, like he looks like a little mini Joe Rogan. Like, I mean, not mini Joe Rogan, but he's like a little tiny buff guy, but he's like really buff. So like if you're juicing, you're taking a cocktail of steroids. You're not just taking one thing. And a lot of those dudes, they take cutting agents, and that makes you, or they just get addicted to uppers because uppers keep you lean. So you can just eat whatever you want and work out or whatever. But he's probably on, who knows, or he's just fucking really hyper. But the dude's got a crazy ego on him, and he's obviously an actor and a opportunist at best. You gonna play some more videos?
I'm thinking about it. I'm just looking at what we got going on here.
Creatine's dope.
What's going on out there in the land of the unfree America?
Damn, some of these are long. I'm just making random clicks here. We're gonna see. That one's 4 minutes.
Stand Store, X, YouTube, Instagram. My name is Chili Decap. Years to put these together. They have the name of my brand on them. So
He's a fucking
Tommy's hanging out in the chat now.
Who?
This guy, Station 33 in the chat.
Who's that?
He's a character. Tom. He'll make you he'll make you look healthy if we're talking about tweakers. He's a funny dude though.
Who?
Tommy, Station 33 in the chat. He's also someone who calls out scumbags.
700 subscribers.
Yeah, all the whole Paul and Slave circle, all those dudes. There's no one with.
Bro, you guys need to. All of you need to work on your fucking thumbnails.
You haven't seen that. My girl makes dope thumbnails. Most of my thumbnails are good.
Thumbnails and titles. I mean,
well, you're obviously more professional than we are, so please enlighten us. Do you have people make your thumbnails, or you just make them?
Fuck no, I make my own shit.
You just knock them out.
Yeah, that's easy. The thumbnails are cake work.
Art school or anything. Yeah.
Okay, I can comfortably say that the longest time I've spent on a thumbnail is less than an hour.
That's about right.
Usually about 5 to 10 minutes.
Well, it should be coming up with the idea should be kind of like, that should take more time. Like a good idea.
For the thumbnail?
Yeah. But you're just trolling fools.
I mean, trolling the cops, trolling YouTubers. Yeah, sure. Sure, why not? I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Patriot Mod wants you to teach him how to make thumbnails. Teach all of us how to make thumbnails.
I have a video up of...
All about passing along knowledge and information, bro.
I've done that.
But you delete all your fucking streams, so...
They're not
There's
deleted.
no way of getting stuff out.
They're just private.
Yeah.
I don't like deleting my streams because if somebody's like, "Hey, you said da da da," then I'll be like, "Motherfucker, let me pull that up." You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep.
But I still have the medical equipment that was screwed into my bones when I was 7 years old. You think I deleted my live stream? You know what I mean?
Are you a sentimental guy?
I like
Who would've
keeping
thought?
things from memory, yeah. Like I've explained on
Yeah.
my live, like a lot of the shit hanging up on my wall, anything that's in the backdrop that you can, I mean, not the food, but there's a reason that it's there. There's a memory attached to that shit, you know?
Little Yoda.
Good, bad, it's just memories. Like this chain, man, I wear this chain to remind me of my prison sentence. You know, I actually wore real chains, so when I wear this stupid ass, and you know how I got this necklace? I'm not going to tell you, but I got it in prison, and my boyfriend was being mean, but he gave it to me anyway.
Oh, yeah?
No, I'm just kidding. But it is a reminder of being in there. I did get it in there. I came out with it, and it's just like a good reminder, you know? You fucking wasted almost 7 years of your life in prison doing absolutely fucking nothing of importance. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I could see that as being a important thing to remind you to not be a fucking piece of shit because it's not worth it.
Yeah, I know. I know.
So what was that first night in prison like?
I mean, it was weird for sure, but I'd already been in jail for 6 months, so it was just like a different place, you know?
Yeah. What was the first night in jail?
First night in jail sucked. First night
Yeah,
in
that's
jail
what I hear.
sucked. I mean, just acclimating to the sounds, the food, the people, you know? It's weird.
Yeah. People screaming and shit.
Mm-hmm. The smell. It's definitely got a different smell.
Gross.
Hell yeah, and then probably 2.5, maybe 3 weeks in, I had a lawyer come and visit me that told me that my first offer is going to be somewhere around the neighborhood of 35 years. I was like, what the fuck, bro?
Holy shit.
So you can imagine going from like being free on the street, doing your normal thing, and then like maybe 3-4 weeks later, you're being told you're looking at 35 years for being a stupid fuck.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that'll wake you up a little bit. Like, what?
And that was his best case offer. 30 years.
That was the worst case. That's the worst case, yeah.
Oh. Oh, okay.
It started at my first actual plea was like, I think it was 21 years. And then my second one was 10.5 to 21. So they included a range. And then my third plea was 10.5 to like 15 or 12. And then
And you pled guilty?
eventually I did, but I had to wait. I wasn't going to sign fuck, dude, I'm not signing double digits in a plea. Hell no. And
Yeah.
and then it got down to 10.5, and then it was like 8.5, and then finally they hit me with the 7 years in the Department of Corrections and 3 years of supervised probation, not like a serious probation. And I told my lawyer, go give me the fucking pen.
Yeah, that's a lot less scary.
Yeah. Do trial?
You did all that.
Trial? I had 3 charges initially, and if I would have went to trial, they would have taken all 3 charges to trial, which was aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, kidnapping, and armed robbery. And I mean, dude, the maximum sentence, which is what Arizona likes to get when you take things to when you take things to trial, is like ridiculous. Like I would have gotten like 60 to 100 years potentially. What? Yeah, no.
Jesus Christ. Fucking Arizona.
Dude, they're crazy here. Hey, there's stuff going on in the state right now. Like there's these teenagers and adults that have been involved in violent assaults around the state. There's a teenager that died because of this. And they're giving these people probation. But in Arizona back in 2011, if you steal $1,000 and you have a gun on you, you're getting close to a decade in prison. Like, yeah, we took money from somebody, but nobody got hurt. No property was damaged. You know, we stole $1,000, and I had a gun on me.
Wow.
Yeah, we didn't hurt him. We didn't shoot him. Nobody like beat the fuck out of him. Like we tricked him into getting into a car with us. We robbed him when he was in the car, and then we pulled over and let him get out. And he went and called the cops on me, and I went and did 7 years for that. That was the worst $1,000 come up I ever did. Cost me 7 years.
That's a pretty stupid story.
Bro, imagine sitting in prison thinking to yourself, like, you're in a fucking carrot suit over $1,000 right now, over $1,000.
Yeah.
And there was 3 of us involved. I didn't get all of that. You know what I mean? I saw less than $1,000, and I had to pay the restitution and pay that shit back.
$250.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh man. Jeez. It wasn't like a BB gun; it was a real gun.
I'm not gonna fucking fuck around doing some shit like that without a real gun on me. Because somebody gets crazy, dude. I would have been in there for murder. You know what I mean? I would have shot. Bro, if I'm robbing somebody and they get crazy, like I'm not getting got. That's what my first son's mom used to tell me. You're either going to end up dead or in prison. And she was right.
Yeah.
We had one of 2 alternatives that were going to happen because I was off the chain. I was fucking crazy, dude. I was robbing other drug dealers. This one time just happened to be some fucking kid that bought weed from me and didn't pay me back $35. It was all over $35 that he just burnt me for.
Yeah. Jesus.
Yeah, I was
had that in me.
I was robbing drug dealers. My whole thing, but not this. This was just a one-off that actually somebody called the cops on me for. Before, like drug dealers, they don't call the cops on you generally.
Yeah,
but we would trick these dudes, bro. I had my own customers. I was selling weed, and I would tell these people like, "Hey, you know other people that sell weed? Set me up with them." Like, what do you mean? I'd be like, "I'm just gonna give you some weed if you set me up with them." They're like, "Oh, okay." So these other people that were buying from,
just throwing their buddy underneath the fucking bus.
They would. Dude, the fucking drug dealers. That's why I don't trust people on drugs. If you're using like hardcore drugs, I don't trust you at all. I'm not letting you come over. We're not hanging out. You know what I mean? No. I've seen what they're willing to do. No, I've seen them set people up for me just to get drugs or money. No. Fuck them.
Yeah. Small amounts of money too, not even a lot of money.
Right, exactly. And hey man, it's crazy too. Like there's no loyalty or nothing. Like these people would just set them up, and then I'd fucking rob them and take their shit and let them go. And this one fucking dude, this 18-year-old that wants to buy weed off me and then not pay me back. Like you don't know how pissed I was about that. Especially being in that mind frame of then, like, bro, I was robbing drug dealers, and this little kid, like, in my opinion, he was a little kid, bro. He's 18, you know? So this fucking kid's gonna rob me of $35?
Yikes.
Yeah, that was a stupid fucking mentality, let me tell you. You're the hindsight's 2020 when you're sitting in a prison cell and you're like, fuck, you're an idiot, bro. You're a fucking moron, you know? No, you probably don't know, but I can tell you. It's no good.
Yeah.
But see, this can circle back to like natural law and all the government shit that we do with First Amendment auditing and cop watching. Is I didn't know any better, to be honest with you. When I was that age, it was either get a job at fucking McDonald's, Walmart, or wherever will hire me, because I don't have any skills. I'm fresh out of high school. I didn't even graduate high school. And I wasn't taught like business. I wasn't taught anything, dude. It was get a job. There's only these possibilities. You're going to be a business owner. Didn't have any idea how to do that. Or you got to get a job and you got to go to college, or you got to be like a criminal, but you don't want to be that. You know what I'm saying? Being on YouTube, selling clothes on like OfferUp, or hustling wasn't even a mentality that I had. And I didn't like the idea of working for anybody at that time. I still don't, but it was a lot worse then. So I was fuck it. I'll sell drugs and rob drug dealers.
Yeah.
I had a screw loose back then.
Arizona was pretty bleak back then too. There wasn't much going on. Not much for a kid to do in Arizona in the 90s.
It wasn't even in the 90s. This happened in
early 2000s.
I did like all this crazy shit from 18 to 21 when I went into prison.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. So like, the early 2000s. I cram-packed a whole bunch of drug use and crime and crazy shit into a few years before I spent 7 years in prison. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I was just like going to lots of concerts and shit when I was that age.
Yeah, I did.
But I was like little straight edge kid. I was like not doing anything bad.
I wasn't either. I mean, until I turned 18. Before I turned 18, I was super straight edge. I mean, there was a couple times at the skate park I used to go to where I beat up these fucking kids that were selling weed there. Because they kept having the cops come in, and the cops fucked with everybody at the skate park. You know what I mean? They didn't just mess with the weed. They didn't know who had the weed. So, I mean, I wasn't wanting to tell on them, so I beat the fuck out of them.
No one wants cops around.
No, especially not at the skate park, dude. No.
Yeah.
And these and it was these specific kids, bro. They smoke weed over by the bathrooms that the parents use when they're there. Like little kids are around, and then they go and tell their parents, and then the fucking parents call the cops, and the cops come, and the cops are wanting to mess with all the kids in the skate park or stand at the front and be all intimidating and shit. And I fucking hated that. So I caught him doing it one time, and he was putting money in his pocket, and I went and I remember this like it was yesterday. I tried to grab the money out of his pocket, and he grabbed my wrist and tried to wrestle with me, and then like punched me in the nuts, dude, and that set me off, and I fucking beat the brakes off of this dude at like 14 years old.
What?
No, maybe like I was like 14. No, okay, like 15 years old.
Are you tall or something? You big dude? I can't really tell.
I'm 6'2". I don't know if that's considered tall anymore.
Okay. Crazy to be at that age and have the balls to rob drug dealers.
I mean, he was my age though. He wasn't.
You're like huge.
He was my age. He was another 15-year-old at the skate park.
Oh, just other like dumb kids.
Yeah, not nothing like that. Just another kid but it was a group of them. You know, like that there were the sober kids that are all skating around, and then you have the pothead kids over here listening to Sublime, smoking a joint,
death metal or something.
That are with their foot on a skateboard. but not really doing anything.
Yeah.
That was my scene when I was younger, is skateboarding.
Yeah.
I need to smoke, says Denizen.
Snowboarding a lot. Surfing and snowboarding.
I feel like I'm on an episode of Dr. Phil right now. And this one time at band camp with Jeffrey, we played Plug the Clarinet. Jeffrey taught me how to plug the clarinet while holding it between my legs. It was great. It was glorious. I loved it.
Don't trigger me like you triggered Steve.
Didn't you, Jeffrey? You wanted to spank me at the same
He
time.
really thought you were hitting on him.
I know he did, dude. That's why I kept doing it.
No, it was funny because like a bunch of people from my show hit me up and they were like, I don't know about that Direct D dude, but he's pretty funny.
I didn't. Hey, my plans for getting on YouTube had nothing to do with the government. I initially wanted to do like, you know, in-person pranks or just be some kind of funny comedian on the internet, fucking with people out in public for real. That's really what my mind frame was about YouTube. When I was in prison, I wanted to get on. I wanted to start doing YouTube. I thought about it in there, and it was gonna. Because I fuck with people in prison, dude. I would talk shit to them. I mean, fuck, dude. Say some crazy shit to people. Huh?
Pranking fools?
Kind of. Just crazy prison stuff. I'll give you an example. So there was this guy that didn't have a TV, and we're in maximum security, so it's 24-hour lockdown, except for 3 days a week you get out for a few hours and you get a shower. And this one, if you don't have a TV, you're pretty bored. And he didn't have a TV, a radio, nothing. And he would yell on the run. And the run is like the building. A run is like it's like a hallway almost with a bunch of doors, you know, like a dog run. And he would yell on this, and it's a fucking hallway. We're inside of a building, so it echoes. Everybody in there can hear you all day long. This motherfucker's yelling. And it really was annoying. But what I did is I got out. I got a job as a porter in the building, so sweeping the floors and mopping and shit just to get out of my cell and make 10 cents an hour. And I finally got out, and I go over to this dude's door, and I'd been thinking about this for a while. And I'm like, hey, man, come here. I'm like, what you doing in there? He's like, oh, you know, I'm waiting to get out. I got like 3 months left. I'm like, oh, yeah? I said, I wanted to tell you something. I said, you know, I've been sitting over there for a few months listening to you yell on the run almost every day and, you know, play like, he's like trying to play cards, you know, playing spades from one cell to another just by saying what I don't know, dude, it's weird. And I went over to his cell and I'm like, you know, I've been listening to you yell on the run for a long time, and I just wanted you to know that it's been driving me fucking crazy. He's like, oh yeah? What do you mean? And I'm like, let me tell you. It's really hard to say this with a straight face now, but I was dead serious, like deadpan. There was no hint of me joking whatsoever. I said all of this shit to him with a straight face. He's like, what do you mean? I was like, oh, bro, you have no idea. You've been doing this to me for months. It's like a mental torture. But I said this kind of shit slow. I was like, you know, at first I thought that it was just annoying. But after a while, I legitimately started thinking about you in the worst kind of ways. Like, what do you mean? I was like, I mean, if you really want to know, first I thought that, you know, at some point I'd get you out of your cell and, you know, maybe cut your head off. And dude, I went into like dismembering this dude and talking about crazy fucking shit to him with a straight face to his door. You have no idea how, like, no badass no more. He's like, what do you mean? Why are you doing this? I'm like, this is what your voice does to me when you talk on the run like you've been doing for months. I just want you to know that. I don't think I'm the only one either. But I'm the only one that's been able to get out and come over here and talk to you about it, and I wanted to let you know. And he's like, you're crazy, bro. You're crazy. I was like, no, I'm just being honest with you. And I was like, and I remember you told me that you're getting out in a few months. When are you getting out? And he's like, oh, like October 3rd or something like that. And I'm only saying October 3rd because we're in October right now. So, you know, I don't really remember what the date was, but I told him, I said, oh, okay, you know, I'm going to be out before that. So can I come and meet you when you get out? And he's like, what do you mean? I was like, well, I want to hang out. He's like, you just told me some crazy shit. I was like, yeah, but I'm just talking about it. I'm not serious. I'm just fantasizing. He's like, nah, bro, I don't want to hang out with you. And then I took it further. Dude, I went further with it and told him, well, we could just hang out.
No, you're a fucking psycho, dude.
He thought that I was, because I never told him that I was joking. I just left it at that. But that's the kind of, like, I wanted to do not something so graphic like that, but like on the street, just walk up to people and say crazy shit to them. You know what I mean? And put it on YouTube. Especially stuff coming from people that you wouldn't expect some stuff coming from somebody that looks like me, you know, especially the gay stuff. That's why dude probably thought, you know, it was serious. If I start going up and fucking doing that kind of stuff with certain people, like, imagine the reactions I'm going to get, especially looking the way that I do. It's
so
not
you're like talking about doing characters, basically.
Right.
Yeah. Like bits and just seeing how people react to it.
Right. I was playing the Dexter character, like have you seen that HBO show?
Yeah, I remember.
Okay, so they were recently playing that. I'm surprised he didn't even pick up on that, but they were recently playing that in the prison system, like they have little channels that they play movies and shows and shit on, and they were playing fucking Dexter, dude. So I was thinking about that shit while I was talking to this dude. It was great. The look on his face, and the dude that I was talking to was like 6'5". He wasn't a little guy, you know what I mean? I wasn't like bullying anybody. I just went over there and was fucking with his with his head. I don't have a problem saying some crazy shit. Huh?
Most people don't know how to deal with that.
Deal with what?
They should. Just someone coming up to them talking crazy, you know.
Oh, I know.
People are just all,
That's why I get such good reactions out of the cops. I've been practicing talking crazy to people in prison, you know. People are like, oh, you wouldn't talk like that if you didn't have holding the camera. Like, bro, I started doing this in prison, talking to dudes in orange and dudes in brown.
Yeah.
I didn't just start, you know what I mean?
Well, I mean, it's called where I come from, it's called foreshadow work. You're forcing someone into a situation. They have to look at themselves and judge on how to react in this situation. You know, like, we're not often put in that situation. And we don't really even know, you know, a lot of people don't know how they react, you know, to someone like that, you know, just rolling up on them. You know, so it kind of forces them to kind of do a little bit of work and be like, whoa, was I just way too passive in that situation? Should I have been more aggressive? Should I have, like, you know, should I have just, like...
Yeah, Steve's definitely thinking about that.
How to react.
He's definitely thinking about that right now.
Yeah, I mean, that was hysterical.
He's like, whoa, that came out of nowhere. It's like, what the fuck, dude?
No, the second you started talking to him and I started, like, I don't know, like, when he came back, like, I don't know, smoked some crack or something. Like, he just, like, someone on my chat said something. They were like, oh, where's the video of Steve sleepwalking? And I was like, yeah, it was almost like he was sleepwalking. You know, because he came back. He, like, went off the screen, came back, and he was all, and then he started just, like, saying dumb shit. And then you just, like, set a trap that he just walked right into.
Go brush your fucking hair, dude.
Like a fucking moron.
Go brush your hair, Jeffrey.
Huh?
I said, go brush your hair, Jeffrey.
So funny. Go brush your hair, dude. I want to see how pretty it is.
I don't think he was drunk. Difficult Dennis thinks he was drunk.
he says he wasn't drunk.
That change happened too fast.
Well, remember he like yelled at you. He got really mad because you call, I don't know, you might have called him a pussy or something. He was all, I'm not talking pussy. He got like really mad, and then he just bolted off screen, and then came back, and he was just like, his face looked completely different, and he was acting all weird. It's almost like he got triggered, and he needed to go have a drink to cope.
Or a hit
like,
or something.
Calm himself down or something. I don't know, a hit or something, or a fucking line, or.
Well, if he was drinking like prior to that, and then he started smoking weed after, like that would explain how he was acting.
That could have been it. That could have been.
People don't understand that mix right there.
He does like dabs and shit too. So
yeah, if he was drinking and smoking weed, that would totally explain the look, the behavior, everything. He was sloshed like. Yeah,
right. His face was all.
His face was melting. Yeah.
Yeah. That was wild.
I've been there. I've drank like a little bit of vodka to where you're like a little tingly, and then you take a good hit or you smoke a blunt or something and you're fucked up.
If you're not someone who smokes every day, that's going to happen every time you drink if you smoke, you know. Cuz it'll give you the spin.
Did we see that? We did see the cat. We do. He's a pussy person. We saw that.
Oh, Steve?
Do you have a dog?
Actually, his name's Steve. The cat?
Yeah. Do you have a dog?
No. Yeah, this cat we only have because we found him with a broken leg in a tree. Or else I don't have an animal because they're kind of pain in the ass. Steve's cool though. He's a cool cat.
I have 2 cats. I love my cats. Don't ever talk bad about cats.
Vegan or anything, so
I will eat your cat if you talk bad about my cats.
Ask all the questions, chat.
I'll come to your house, kidnap your cat, and eat it.
Oh. Uh-oh.
You heard me. What the fuck did you just say? You gonna come over and eat me, fool? I just got a puppy.
It's not good to, let's see, cats. Cat conspiracy. Cats, it's not good to let cats outside. When cats eat mice, they get a parasite in them called toxoplasmosis. And then they pass it to humans. And when the parasite is in humans, toxoplasmosis will make a human less inhibited and less it basically it like numbs out your adrenal glands, so it makes you not scared. You'll be like more apt to do dangerous activities. Like there are a couple of motorcyclists
I like this
that died that were like, you know, like sport bike cyclists, and they did an autopsy on them, and these dudes were full of toxoplasmosis. Which, like, you know, takes away your fear, basically. It's pretty sketchy. It's a very real thing. Parasites are pretty gnarly. I highly recommend people doing parasite cleanses every once in a while.
Where can I find these parasites at?
Have worms and shit in us, which is pretty gross.
Where can I find these at?
Like, herbal remedies you can get. You just kind of like take them every day.
I can get the parasites.
What
if you want them though, not cleanse them?
That's one reason not to let your cat go outside. There's a lot of reasons why letting your cat go outside is pretty dumb.
Well, hold on a minute. Do I have to let the cat bite me? How do I find out if the cat is infected?
Not really a cat conspiracy, just a weird cat fact.
Well, hold on a minute. I'm trying to figure this one out. How do I find out if the cat's infected? And then does the cat have to bite me, or do I have to like tongue it or something?
Paul's yelling about your dog,
huh?
Tommy?
Or you eat some of its poop or something? What'd you say?
Why are you yelling about your dog?
Dog?
Paul's yelling like usual. I can't.
Are you being distracted?
What happened to my shit? Hold on a sec. Oh, yeah. I think my speaker battery is dead. Hold on.
Damn, 5-hour stream. That sucks. Somebody said they'll tongue the cat. Who's yelling about my dog? What are you talking about? Are you muted? No. Can't hear you though. Yeah, you're muted. Still can't hear you though. I don't know what you did. So where are we at with tonguing the cat? I don't know what's happening. I got nothing. No audio. My settings haven't changed. You're not muted over here. No, it's all my settings are good. Something's up with yours.
Out.
Oh,
there it is.
You did something.
How weird.
Maybe a loose cord.
Shit's going crazy.
Blink twice if you're in danger. So what were you talking about? My puppy or my cat or something? What?
No, cat's outside.
No, about
If
you
you
said somebody's raging about my puppy in the chat. I didn't see that.
Oh no, I was talking to Tommy. That guy, State 33. He said that Paul was screaming about his dog. The dog had died or something. I don't know.
Oh. Somebody got a small little violin we can play for him real quick?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm probably going to smoke another cigarette and end the stream. I am tired.
Yeah. All right, dude. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it was
Check
fun.
out my channel, y'all.
Yeah, go
Probably won't like anything there, but
if you like more weird conspiracies,
yes.
subscribe to Jeffrey Phillips.
YouTube.com/@JeffreyPhillips for weird conspiracies. But I'll see you around, man.
Later. Have a good night.
Peace.
I think I might cut some of this, make it shorter, more digestible.